can you tell our viewers what a typical day is like for you?
Well, there's no typical day. That's the thing. There's so much to choose from in cataloging. I am working on a big project that has a number of items that have been identified in the catalog that need upgrading, and that's thousands and thousands of items. So I can pick and choose any of those on any given day. And today I had a question about how do you spell the word Hawaiian, because one of our books that has been cataloged has what we call an okina, or ein in cataloging speak. You've heard Hawaii, it has an okina between the two eyes, Hawaii. So some people think that because Hawaii is spelled that way, any word that has Hawaii in it as a base should retain that mark. So this author has written Hawaiian in its title. And it does look odd, but the fact is the author chose to write it that way, so we're going to retain the author's intent. And then to help future catalogers, I made a little instruction here on what to do when you run into this variant spelling of Hawaiian. And the instructions are just as I explained, because in our database, any kind of mark like an apostrophe or a diacritic mark, which is used in Hawaii, is ignored in alphabetizing and indexing. So if I couldn't even find this word Hawaiian, even if I enclosed it in quotes in Voyager, I got more than 10,000 hits. So we had to actually find the book and search for it that way. So this little document I made is going to go through peer review in our department, and then eventually be added to our online cataloging manual. And I have some other things in there that I've compiled over the years to help people catalog Hawaiian language materials.
Oh, that's so interesting. Thank you. If students want a similar job to your job, what skills should they try to build?
Well, I think, pardon me while I look at my notes, any kind of computer database background, cataloging courses, of course, as many as you can take if you're interested. And in my case, I think the language background was a big plus in my applying for the position. And any language, other than English, as a cataloger, would put you in demand, because cataloging is a specialty within librarianship. It's not everybody's cup of tea, but a cataloger who has a language background or strength would be a plus in any department, especially in a large university or academic setting. For instance, here at the University of Hawaii, we have individual cataloging specialists for Chinese, Japanese, Korean, and my former position has been redescribed as Hawaiian language metadata cataloger. So yeah, it's a job desired qualification.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Other things I think were useful. I came from the private sector, financial institution, and I also worked at the Department of Health and the Department of Education. Any kind of background can potentially be useful for a cataloger. Even growing up in Hawaii is a potential plus, because when we come to catalog environmental reports or materials published by agencies, city, county, or federal agencies in Hawaii, they're talking about things that are in the news. And even if it happened, 40, 50 years ago, it's possible to put that local knowledge to use. Whereas somebody coming in without any of that local knowledge, for instance, might have a steeper learning curve.
For sure, definitely. Yeah. And you would know the places as well.
The places, the place names, the issues. Like, I'm not sure if you've heard of the idea of generating geothermal energy on the island of Hawaii. And putting it into an undersea cable to Maui and Oahu for electricity. Well, when I first joined the cataloging department, one of the jobs our department head gave me was to catalog a 3-shelf book truck full of proposal studies and etc. having to do with that very idea. This was back in the early 90s. And one of the reports was put out by the Pirelli tire company in Italy. And because the cable has to be rubberized and coated in such a way that being under the water, it would be protected from corrosion and water pressure and whatever else an undersea cable has to withstand.
Mm-hmm.
So, when I saw it in the news again, wow, 20 years ago, this was being discussed.
And they're still talking about it. That's great. What do you want librarians and other specialties to know about your job?
Often we work in the background. Any technical services department does. But I believe that what we do in the background is evident in the foreground, namely in the online catalog and the website. And if you didn't do this work, it would be very hard to find anything in the library. You'd be wandering around without a clue as to where anything was or anything on a given topic might be available.
That makes sense. And what would you like the general public to know about your career?
We are real people.
Not machines.
That's right. So often people think that, everything is just on the web and we can just pull things up by searching Google or other search engines. And in fact, one of our open house sessions we had some years ago, I was on duty here in the cataloging department, and one of the gentlemen asked, when I introduced myself as a cataloger, he says, "You mean you're not a robot?" And I said, "No, I'm not a robot. It's a real person's intellectual work. And we actually take a book and open it and try to figure out what it's about and who the author is and when was it published and who published it." And those pieces of information are vital but not easily evident at times. So sometimes being a detective is part of the job. Searching.
It can also be very creative.
Yes.
Describing the book.
Absolutely.
And its provenance. For sure. And how can others get into this line of work?
I would say your interest and your passion are the two most important things, and taking the courses that interest you. Like if you wanted to go into science, for instance, and technology. Science and technology are big areas for academic library acquisitions. I'm talking about those environmental impact statements, etc. And also another big area that we catalog in all subjects would be the master's and theses and PhD dissertations. They come in all subjects, and including physics, engineering, algebra. And even though the students are writing in English, sometimes we don't often immediately know what the material is about.
Yeah, there's so much jargon in science and technology.
And acronyms and abbreviations, etc. So cataloging University of Hawaii thesis is sort of a trial by fire.
So do you have anything else you'd like to share with our viewers today?
I would say it's a continuous learning curve. You don't just take your classes and get your degree and that's it, because the knowledge is constantly changing. Cataloging is changing. The jargon, as you say, keeps changing. The needs of the users and the needs of the library as well, and adapting to different changes in technology and how the library is seen as a service organization, and the research changes. Curiosity will help. Perseverance learning about things, about unknown areas of the work, and keeping up with it. Advocacy is very important. Be able to reach out to the stakeholders, because cataloging is even a subspecialty within technical services, and being able to explain to other people what we do and why it's important and what we need is extremely important. You can't express that in a departmental meeting or in front of a crowd. You're not really being that effective. When this one question that you had earlier about skills or technology, which would make your job easier, it's not so much the skills and technology. I think it's working with other people, because, like for instance, we get a lot of materials from the Pacific Islands, and in different languages, many languages. I would say being able to work with the public service librarians who go out to the regions and gather this material to get them to understand. Before you put it in the box and ship it back here, make a note somewhere, a sticky note or whatever, what language is this material in? And if you don't see a publication year on the title, guess, and talk to the people you got it from, let's say.
Sure.
That those are number one, and number two, the language and the year. And sometimes with sound recordings, like songs, music, etc. Those are often acquired in the field. Well, okay, what kind of album is this? Is it popular music? Is it like chants, ethnographic? Is this a video of a particular kind of event, let's say? And tell me a little more about it, because if I don't know and I can't find out, I can't really do such a good job cataloging it. So it's the partnership between acquisitions and cataloging, and ultimately it helps reference. I think it's kind of a three-way street.
Sure.
And I've even told people, okay, students, if you're going to put on an event and you're going to make a video, the number one thing you should film before anything else is the poster or the flyer that has to do with this event. And hopefully it'll have the information we need for cataloging or for future reference. Otherwise, I've cataloged so many, I would say, raw footage. The camera just starts. You see people up on a stage, and they're talking, or they're dancing, or whatever, and you have no idea. So I can show you later on some examples of challenges.
That's so great.
In cataloging.
That's so great. Thank you so much for the information. It was very helpful, and I'm sure it will help our viewers. Mahalo. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.